This Pennywise Recaps, and today we're reviewing the crime drama The Bike Riders. Get ready for incredible plot twists. Tired of family life, a man becomes interested in motorcycling and opens his own motorcycle club. A few years later, his popularity attracts bad people, and the club turns into a biker gang. The movie begins in Chicago. Regular bar patrons run down Benny, a member of the Vandals Biker Club. The story then moves back to 1965, focusing on Kathy. She is interviewed by a photography student, Danny Lyon. The photographer is interested in how Kathy got acquainted with the Vandals Biker Club. One day, she came to meet a friend at a biker club. Frightened by the obsessive attention of men, the girl wants to leave, but notices Benny. She stays a while to get to know him and the president of the biker club. Avoiding the crowd, Kathy gets on Benny's motorcycle and he takes her home. Benny waits all night on the other side of the road. Kathy's boyfriend doesn't like this and decides that it's better to pack up and get away from his girlfriend. After that, Benny wants to get to know the already free girl better and offers her a ride. The girl falls in love with a guy who is running away from the police. However, a broken motor allows the police to catch up with him. Benny is released on bail, and with the respect of President Johnny, who, according to Kathy, wanted to be like a young biker of carefree spirit. Johnny had long been an exemplary family man and a great father, until he saw a movie with Marlon Brando. Under his influence, Johnny became fascinated by motorcycling and got the idea to create his own motorcycle club. Gradually, like-minded people began to gather around him. Soon, a group of friends who wanted to disobey any rules organized themselves into a club with strict rules. It was not without its disagreements. While discussing the need to install an emergency phone in the bar, one of the members suggested that a branch of the Vandals be established in another city. The president didn't like the idea, as it contradicted the idea that all members should be friends. He does not know people from other cities. The conflict leads to a challenge to a duel. It takes place on a rally track where the club has organized a picnic. During the fight, which takes place both according to the rules of MMA and without any rules at all, Johnny remembers his existence and bites his opponent's leg, breaking his finger to make it more convincing. The president wins an undisputed victory and leniently allows him to open a branch in another city. Over time, the club attracted more and more attention, including teenagers with criminal tendencies who behaved like real vandals. A contented Johnny led a convoy of cool bikers with a clear hierarchy on the club's trips to various racing events. The documentary filmmaker Lyon accompanies the bikers on these trips to capture the story and write a book. He interviews Zipko, one of the older bikers. The conversation is interrupted by the arrival of another biker club. The bikers have a conflict, and one of the vandals is accused of scratching someone else's bike. President Johnny, thanks to his experience and authority, almost settled the conflict by appealing to mutual acquaintances. But Benny flies into the conversation and knocks down the leader of the other group. After that, a massive fight breaks out. Lyon only has time to shoot colorful shots. The fight ends according to the old rule of first blood, for everyone except Benny himself. He rushes at his opponent, and the president is forced to pull his aggressive friend away. The fight ends with joint gatherings with alcohol and talks about motorcycles. Only Johnny asks Benny what he was thinking when he started the fight, to which he replies, "I just wanted to. Why think?" In 1973, when Lyon interviews Benny, he visits him even when he is not at home, parking his motorcycle on the sidewalk, which causes anger among the neighbors. Kathy also says that it is dangerous for bikers in jackets to walk alone because they have many enemies. As an example, she talks about Benny's trip to a bar when he was beaten and broke his leg with a shovel. Lying in the hospital, he was no longer worried about losing his leg, but about not being able to ride his motorcycle anymore. When the incident is reported to Johnny, he gathers all the club members and goes to the bar to deal with the problem. The president politely and calmly asks the bartender who is responsible for the beating. The names are written on a napkin. He also politely and calmly asks his comrades to make sure that the perpetrators are never seen again and orders them to burn the place down. The bikers admire the burning flames, preventing firefighters and police from doing their job. Kathy and Benny rent a motel room for the boy to recover from his injury. Johnny visits them there. The leader offers him to go on a trip in 3 weeks, which the girl does not like. The disagreement almost ends in a divorce, but Kathy decides to play it smart. She goes to Johnny to convince him to kick Benny out of the club, arguing that she, as his wife, has more rights to him. The biker disagrees, and they do not reach an agreement. Benny, still in a cast and on crutches, nevertheless arrives at the event with his wife. They see Sonny, a biker from California who has moved to Chicago, arrive to see the president. Due to his wild and unrestrained personality, he quickly joins the team. A group of juvenile criminals, led by a difficult teenager nicknamed the Kid, arrives there. They express their desire to join the Vandals. In the evening, while his comrades are telling stories around the campfire, Johnny takes the lame Benny away for a private conversation. The president offers him the position of leader after Johnny retires, but Benny refuses, doubting that he is worthy of it. Returning to the campfire, they learn that Sonny beat up Cal, who did not leave the California club when he became a member of the Vandals. However, Brucey turns it into a joke, diffusing the situation. Soon after, the club's all-time favorite, Brucey, gets into a foolish accident and dies. Johnny is severely affected by the loss. The whole club comes to the funeral against the wishes of the family. Brucey's mother, passing by the mourning column, stops near Johnny and spits in his face, considering him guilty of her son's death. Later in the evening, when Johnny and his friends are commemorating Brucey and remembering their dead friends, the Kid and his friends enter the bar. He starts a conversation about joining the club, not realizing that he has come at a bad time. The Kid insists that the president take a look at the bikes they have collected themselves. Johnny agrees, but he doesn't really like the Kid's idea of killing and robbing to join the club. Nevertheless, Johnny says that the Kid is accepted, but he is the only one with no friends. The boy easily agrees, failing the test, because the Vandals don't want people who give up their friends so easily. Angry, the Kid attacks Johnny with a knife, but the president stops him and tells him not to be seen again. After that, the situation in the club changed. There was a division into bikers from the first club and newcomers, Vietnam veterans, and fans of illegal drugs. In addition, the motorcycle ranks were infiltrated by fans of the forbidden. Johnny personally spotted one of them during a party at a country house. In addition to the search for illegal substances, there were problems with the morale of the club members. Bikers openly carry firearms. Several newcomers brutally beat an old club member nicknamed Cockroach after learning that he wanted to leave the club and become a motorcycle policeman. When Kathy admired a dress of one of the girls at the party, Sonny soon brings it to her. When the girl tries it on, her husband and his friends go outside to break up a fight. While Benny is taking the beaten Cockroach to the hospital, the newcomers to the house try to beat his wife. She is saved only by the appearance of Johnny, who can do nothing, since the behavior of his classmates formally complies with the Vandals' code. Shocked, Kathy is unhappy that her husband was not there. After leaving the hospital, Cockroach confesses to Johnny that he has to focus on his family life. He bluntly says that the new members of the club are the real bad guys. After this conversation, the president asks Benny to help re-educate someone. When Benny goes home to get his revolver, he finds himself in an unpleasant conversation with his wife. Kathy accuses him of leaving her alone with the bad guys, and now she is afraid to be alone in the dark and suggests that her husband quit his club. But Benny can't do it. Under the cover of night, Benny and Johnny break into the house with guns in hand, where a beaten Cockroach is waiting for them. The president shoots him in the leg and then orders him to leave and not to return. In this way, he fulfills Cockroach's request to get out of the game and get on with his family life. Discussing the case, Johnny expresses his dissatisfaction with what the club has become. Johnny recognizes that things have gotten out of hand. The new guys are not very manageable, and he is too old to do it. He again offers Benny the position of club chairman, but he refuses and leaves. Soon after, the kid comes to the bar. He has become a member of the Vandals branch and challenges Johnny to a duel, choosing a stabbing as a duel. Before going to the duel, Johnny pays a visit to Kathy, learning from her that Benny has not returned from his unauthorized vacation. Arriving at night at the designated place for the duel, Johnny and his friends wait for the young men to show up. When they arrive on their bikes, the president goes to the center with a knife in his hand, ready to defend the club's honor. Vandals come under the kids' control and turn into what they have always been, an ordinary gang. Now the bikers do not hesitate to engage in robberies, murders, and other crimes. The fate of the founders of Vandals was different. Some joined the new government, some died under mysterious circumstances, some left for other cities and clubs. Cockroach became an exemplary family man and motorcycle policeman. After learning that Johnny was killed, Benny returns from vacation to his wife. After mourning his old friend, they move to Florida. Kathy's story ends there. Lion asks if Benny still rides his bike, to which the woman answers in the negative. The husband has found a quiet job. They are happy, but sitting on the porch, drinking beer, Benny hears the sound of motorcycles in the distance and smiles dreamily. Thank you for being with us. Subscribe to the channel, like us, and be sure to click on the bell to stay up to date with our new videos.